Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Bit of drama going on today ahead of the America's Last Chance qualifier. Former DSG player Ye has been talking a fair bit over the last few days that when this Sen vs 100 Thieves series happens, that will open up an opportunity for him to get back into Tier 1. He also made a pretty interesting statement last night on his former DSG roster, kind of saying that look, he couldn't do it all on his own. This has now been responded to, it seems, in kind by some of the players on that DSG roster. Who's right on this one? Very much enjoyed to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Let's dive in firstly with this. Dephh, formerly of course Gambit's player when they were a great team back in the day. He's left the roster that he was previously on after spending the last few months in China and is now pursuing new opportunities as a free agent. So hope it works out for the best for Dephh. There was also this Calypso joining FaZe as the coach for their Game Changers squad. So they're trying to get the bold buff coming in hard here. And also speaking of that Chinese league we just saw with Dephh, the final team qualified yesterday and that was FPX. They took down Tyloo in a 3-1 fashion. So BLG, Billy Gaming, right? Then Edward Gaming, of course, qualified. And the final team to make it was these guys in FPX. One of the teams you might have expected to. So Pearl was 13-8, 13-7 on buying back to Tyloo with Sorry My Bad, one of my favourite player names in the entire league. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. 13-11 and then 13-10. Close series, absolutely. But in the end, it was FPX that just got over the line. And that makes it those three teams that will qualify for the World Championship in Los Angeles, and they'll be there pretty soon. So congratulations, pretty cool stuff at all these teams. Edward Gaming, of course, the team that most people are going to be looking at with Kang and the great roster they currently have around him. Whether they can go 1 better, 2 better, or even 3 better, 4 better than they managed last time out in Tokyo, that will be a key talking point going forward. Speaking of some of the other qualifiers, this is the EMEA Ascension tournament where Apex took down Ascend. Ascend probably the favourites here for this tournament marginally, but Apex was certainly up there. And these teams have some great players, right? I mean, look at these rosters. Mystic, formerly of Fnatic, Magnum, you know, Enzo, right, who we saw a fair bit last year as well. And then on the Ascend side, Monster, G. So lots of great players here. And, well, Fracture was 13-11 to Ascend, but the other two maps were comfortable the other way. 13-5, 13-6 for Apex. So this is really spicy, and it sets things up as follows. So Gentlemate also took down Saw, I believe mostly Portuguese players there, so it might be a little bit tricky for those guys to get into spots next year in the franchise league. Hopefully they do. Gentlemate's, of course, that team with Whalers, who dropped like 9 kills in 2 maps against Ascend, but he did turn up a bit bitter yesterday. So still, they've got another couple of series to try and win if they could. They've got to beat Ascend, which is going to be a challenge. And yes, Saw out of the tournament, unfortunately for them. But yes, Ascend versus Gentlemates today, and then tomorrow, the grand final, Apex versus the winner of this two, to determine which team makes it through to the EMEA Ascension after we already have the qualifiers in Bleed and in, of course, the Guard, respectively, from the Pacific and the Americas region. Speaking of the Americas, though, here we go. The LCQ begins today. Lots of excitement about this over the last several days, and we're finally getting some action. Tonight, there's only one game, MIBR versus Crew, up around 1, but this is single elimination. The loser of this goes home immediately. MIBR, probably the marginal favourites after how they finished at the end of the previous split. Crew, you know, they should always have been better than they were as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, that's the first game. The winner of that plays Furia tomorrow, and then later tomorrow we get Sentinels 100 Thieves. That's the big one everyone's been looking forward to, and there's been lots of talk on this. Zekken's trying to get ready to go for it. There was also 100 Thieves preparing for the LCQ. Some nice content they put out here for these guys getting ready. And I don't know if you guys saw this story, but last night, a couple of the guys from 100 Thieves, they did a podcast kind of talking with Nate Jott and John Robinson and a lot of the guys who run up their esports program on how they're going to change their intentions towards the financial side of the business going forwards. They're cutting back salaries big time on the Call of Duty side, and it was heavily implied that those same issues will affect their other teams. When it comes to reforming their Valorant team, when it comes to reforming their League of Legends team, they will be making cuts to the salaries they can afford to pay. So I don't think the 100 Thieves are going to go out and get Ye and get all these big players in. they might have to go for a different approach to the rebuilds. So, you know, it probably is going to be the last time we see this roster of 5 play at the last chance qualifier unless they were to win it. It's unlikely they will stay as a team, I think, for next season, but the changes they will make are likely to be cost cuts in mines, which might not mean they're going to have a competitive roster next season. We'll see, I suppose. But it was confirmed by FNS here that he has managed to get the permissions to watch party this match at the arena. So as FNS says, watching Sen versus 100 Thieves from the arena with Som. So this is just fantastic stuff. Classic stuff from FNS here, right? Managing to gas this series up beyond belief over the last few days, only to benefit from his own watch party. So just another masterclass here from Phoenix. But we've got to talk about this drama. So Ye has been talking a lot about this series, and for good reason. He said, well, look, 100 Thieves and Sentinels, whoever loses, they will have to make some changes, you would think, and therefore I might well be in position to capitalize on those new spots and opportunities. But probably the spiciest clip that he's come out with, I thought, lately, was talked about last night when he was discussing the DSG drama. But it's probably better for everyone that we just forget that whole DSG saga even happened. Yay, after getting dropped from Cloud9 for potentially financial reasons, right? We still don't really fully know the story behind that one, but he decided that he wanted to play something. Join DSG, have a good time over there, try and have at least some success in Tier 2, and just prove that he still got it as a player. Turned out it was a shambles. He didn't play well individually, the team was an absolute mess, and it didn't look good on him nor anyone as a part of that organisation, and I feel bad for Toast still as to the way that went, given the salaries those guys were paid. But he gives his thoughts on it last night, and you know, it's caused a bit of controversy.
For sure you're getting picked up next season? I wouldn't be so sure. It kind of depends on like a few things, because like obviously I don't want to. I think I learned my lesson in terms of with like DSG, where I just don't want to like hop into a team just to play, you know, because obviously you can't like fucking do like everything by yourself. Not to say I didn't have my own problems on there, but I'm just saying like it's a team game for a reason, right? So I'm trying to find like a good team, and I don't want to like compromise on that.
Yo,
but at the same time, I can't be like stingy, so it's like a fucking balance. You guys know what I'm saying?
No.
You're coming, Heaven.
I haven't.
1 million 8-pack offer. I mean, that's just hindsight, right, boys?
Their jet has nothing.
That's just hindsight.
Yo, hey guys, I'm back.
It's just hindsight.
Where did you go?
Just taking a piss.
I went to use the restroom.
Because like, let's just say for example, I went to APAC, right? Say for example, I went to APAC.
Was it
and then,
banking
like,
on your account?
even though like
Yeah, could you tell by the way?
even though I had the supposed like $1 million offer, like say I went over there and I completely failed like over there, then it'd be like, do you regret not staying in NA? You know, it's just like you gotta look at it from like at the right time. You know, I felt like I made the best decision, and like it's hard to have regrets about that.
Amen.
Because you know, I had all the information that I had at the time, and I made the best possible decision I could with that.
3-3-3. Sova's in 2.
Yeah,
Let's go together.
yeah. Wait. Can you break door, KO? Wait, Killjoy, come with us to door. Killjoy, come door with us and get ready. And Derek, get ready. I'll tell you when.
Planted.
Yeah. Ready? Let's go together. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
One dice.
Enemy kill.
One enemy remaining.
Nice. Amen. Right side, tuck. Ding.
Ew.
Go.
So Ye basically said, look, learned his lesson because he doesn't want to play in a situation where he has to pretty much be the one-man band, right? And he said, look, you can't win a game on your own. No disrespect to my teammates, although he did kind of disrespect them a little bit, but you can't be a one-man show here. There is more to it. And despite the fact that Ye individually didn't look quite as good as he had done previously, people said, oh, you know, no chamber, no Ye, and all this type of stuff. I'm not sure I fully buy that. But I think when he had so much else to think about in terms of performing well, getting left out to dry a lot, he probably wasn't going to perform individually at as high of a level as we have seen him be capable of, let's say, on OpTic Gaming. But, you know, is this a fair assessment from Ye as to what went wrong there? Because Gangster and Steel have a bit of a back and forth, and it seems very likely this is related to the comments from Ye. I think they're subtweeting him, basically, and their subtweeting is kind of like when you diss somebody, but you don't mention them by name. So Gangster says, oh, LOL. Ever stop to think for a second that maybe maybe, nah, couldn't be, so wholesome, how could it be? Nah, you know, listen, I'm only going to tell you guys this one time. So it's kind of like Steel saying, oh, okay, this is speculation, but it seems like he's saying, oh, you know, maybe you were the problem, but, you know, you don't want to think about it. Or at least maybe you were part of the problem. And I think that, I can imagine that these guys probably weren't so happy seeing a tweet like this from Ye when everything went wrong. And as he says here, like, the mistakes that are happening on this team are things that I'm 99% sure ranked players could do better. Actually pathetic, we're salaried professionals donating my last paycheck to charity since I don't deserve it. So yeah, this bit, right, when it's pretty disrespectful to his team, and you could say that that's definitely deserved because they played poorly and deserved to get dropped on their neck by playing absolutely terribly. But Ye was Ye was part of the issue to some degree. The team can't be that bad, and Ye is completely blame free, and he admits, right, that he should have done better, and he's learned his lesson from it. But yeah, a little bit of spice there, back and forth. Now, are those guys, Gangster and Steel, going to get tier 1 offers next year? Probably not. Is Ye? Probably yes, right? Even though his stock isn't where it was, he's still Ye. He's still going to get offers, I think, from teams next season, and he can try and get one of those offers, rebuild up what people know Ye to be, and take back, take back control of his future as a player. But still, he's going to have 1, maybe 2 more chances there to give it a go, and if it doesn't work out, then it might be a bit of a tricky spot. And as I say, 100 Thieves, I don't think are going to be diving in to sign Ye because of the financial stuff we've discussed, especially if he has maybe more money offers on the table from even various regions, as he says, that APAC $1 million offer, if it returns, because I think we thought that was to play for Bleed at the time, and now Bleed have qualified for the actual franchise league, so that could be very interesting. But very much enjoyed to hear your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. The record I thought was interesting between the teams in the LCQ and the other LCQ teams. Cloud9 are 7-0 against all these other teams we see, which is pretty emphatic actually. So they should be favourites, then Sentinels probably, and we'll see how things go over the coming days. But very much enjoyed to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.